The Trump administration is preparing to defend President Trump's sweeping tariffs before the Supreme Court after lower courts ruled that he overstepped his authority. This comes as India, facing some of the highest tariffs, is defending its economic ties with America's biggest adversaries, China and Russia. National correspondent Atra El-Nashar reports from Washington.
U.S.-India ties hitting a low point. President Trump says their trade relationship has been a totally one-sided disaster.
Everything they made, they'd send it in, pour it into our country. Therefore, it wouldn't be made here, which is a negative.
Trump claims India, facing 50% tariffs, just offered to cut tariffs on American goods to zero. India offering no confirmation. On the other side of the world, on the sidelines of a summit with Asian leaders in Beijing, Indian Prime Minister Narendra Modi meeting with President Xi Jinping of China. Once a rival to India, they now face a common economic headwind. Chinese imports to the U.S. are subject to a baseline 30% tariff. India's foreign secretary says Modi and Xi discussed how they can leverage this common challenge.
And how to, in a sense, take forward the economic and commercial relationship between India and China in the midst of these evolving challenges.
Modi also meeting with Russian President Vladimir Putin. Half the tariffs Trump has imposed on India are for its purchases of Russian oil. Putin delivering this not-so-subtle message about aims to establish a new world order.
A system that could take the place of the obsolete Eurocentric and Euro-Atlantic models.
Back in Washington, the White House is fighting to keep the bulk of the president's tariffs in place after an appeals court affirmed a trade court ruling that Trump overstepped his authority when he bypassed Congress and declared a national emergency to justify his universal tariffs.
We're going to win at the Supreme Court. We are close to a tipping point where we could have financial instability due to these large and persistent trade deficits.
If they lose at the Supreme Court, Treasury Secretary Scott Bessent says the White House's backup plan is to lean on a law from 1930, the Smoot-Hawley Tariff Act, allowing them to impose up to 50% tariffs for 5 months on imports from countries found to discriminate against American commerce. In Washington, I'm Atra El-Nashar.